So everybody thinks of the federal government, they think of the state government, they think of local government, and then there are tribal governments. And people forget that we're actually embraced in that concept in the Constitution of the U.S. So we have to develop programs that serve all of our communities. And typically you have programs that serve the youth, to families, to elders, and then you have other responsibilities with regard to stewardship over natural resources, etc. But with us, we have additional areas that are critically important to us. It's our culture, it's our traditions, it's our way of life. It's enhancing our ability to serve our community and protect our languages, protect all those things that make us a unique set of indigenous peoples.
It is my absolute pleasure to present you with the Governor's Smart Communities Smart Housing Strategies Award.
Well, Michelle, thank you. On behalf of my tribe, my council, our community, from our young families to our elders, we're very honored to receive this award.
The Administration for Native Americans funded a grant for us to do a housing study. And so Luke and I came on board around the same time, and we were handed this project. So here we are, we have a year to do this project, and tribal citizens, employees, nobody knows who we are. So here we hire a consultant to work with us, and we have all these focus groups we need to do. Well, here I'm coming in there, Luke's coming in there, and they don't know us. And they, like Michael had said, doing all these surveys, these assessments and stuff, and they don't lead anywhere. Who are we to come in there and do another one with them? And so just being, aware of that, building that trust with them. Michael was instrumental in leading us and guiding us in that process, and helping elders to be able to just, let them know they can feel comfortable with us and trust the process.
It all starts with trust. Elders of our culture a lot of them are old school. I'm 75. I deal with the elders that are my age who have a lot of trust issues that go on for years and years. And when there's a new caseworker comes by, they're not sure if that person is. I get a phone call. What do you think of that person? Do you think they really are sincere? Are they going to help us? How much do I tell them? How much can I tell them? I get phone calls all the time from people, both sides, from the tribal people working in their offices to the ones sitting at home. And if I say, give them a chance, and then build up. Or I'll go with them, I take them on a soup delivery and introduce them to all these different people. And even though we have caseworkers, I'll bet you they don't only know maybe 20% of the people, or have only been in the homes of 20% of the people. What about the other? There's 250 some elders. That's a lot.
Linda and I both aren't tribal members. We're staff. We serve the tribal community. We aren't the ones deciding for it. So meaningful engagement, having that input from the community that we're here to serve it has to be the biggest part of this project, because who are we to decide what's culturally appropriate or culturally relevant when it comes to housing for tribal elders? We need to be aggressive listeners and try to understand what those pieces are and not assume that we know.
When one thinks about what started this whole project in terms of conducting a long-term 7-generation vision plan for housing in our area, we needed to have that vision. We needed to have the strategic plan. We needed to have a clarity about what are potential sites. We needed an assessment of what kind of infrastructure is available. If you want a site and you have no infrastructure, that's already a problem right away.
Right on the beach. Yeah, so these original Jamestown lots are some of the traditional Jamestown beach lots. Some of them are still owned by tribal families, and some of them are owned by non-tribal families, and some of them are owned by the tribe now. The small families from Dungeness that came here when they were kind of having to leave their traditional villages. Yeah, so Jamestown's unique as a non-reservation based tribe. We have a mixture of land that the tribe owns under fee status, which is under the county's jurisdiction, and then trust and reservation lands that are adjacent to Clallam County, City of Sequim, State of Washington through Fish and Wildlife or DNR, and then the federal government, whether it's national forest or national parks. It's kind of a jurisdictional intersection here, which makes things pretty complicated. One move the tribe did make, an investment the tribe made, was the sewer infrastructure that connects to the city of Sequim. We need a wastewater solution because we also have commercial aquaculture directly in front of where we are developing in a more intense way. Any wastewater issues that come off of tribal properties have a kind of direct impact on some of the tribe's economic operations as well as treaty resource operations. So it's really, it was just a step in the right direction to take care of our wastewater in a way that wouldn't jeopardize treaty resources or commercial shellfish harvesting.
We had to do a study to figure out where could we build houses, how many houses, what kind of houses, how tight can we build them close together, do we do multiple housing complexes, etc. Think through all that. And so we charged our planners with coming up with a game plan, talk to our community, make sure we knew what their needs were, what their desires were, and then find a way to put that together in a priority context.
You can see there's some challenging terrain, which when you're trying to build affordable housing, terrain selection makes all the difference between is it affordable or is it not. If you're developing on critical slopes, good luck building affordable housing. So the 101 it's kind of we're good. Only one more scary merge to go. You see in our housing solutions study, one of the key pieces of that was making safe access. And safe access on a state route, it's tough to just do. You can't just make improvements to the 101 willy-nilly.
We're a small tribe. We only have around 530, 40 tribal citizens. For us, it doesn't matter whether you're a small tribe like us or you're a large tribe like Navajo with 350,000 citizens. It doesn't make any difference. Sovereignty is sovereignty.
All of a sudden I get this call, so I sold my RV and we got this little one-bedroom apartment there at Bell Street. Which was small, but that's okay. I was just tickled to be home, get things I needed for medically and stuff like that. But when I moved in there, it was really dreary. So my husband and I are both nuts about planting things and stuff. So we brought our own plants, put planters out there, had some color go in there to kind of brighten up. And you would see them go out in the courtyard and they'd be tickled about the flowers. There's one strawberries, so we did strawberries, stuff like that,
Our community, as Indigenous people, we're a part of society, and we're part of the solution, quite frankly. And so even though our primary responsibility is to our tribal Indian community, we see that the communities surrounding us have same kinds of challenges that we do. So that partnership, that relationship has to bridge any kinds of perceived roadblocks or mental images of who we are, and that they see that we are problem solvers, and that includes housing.
A solar push for all the development. Or like a green energy grid kind of.
I think it was something that was discussed and is an option in the architect.
And with a little bit of clearing, you have water views. We have just a pretty magical, about 40 acres up here.